Hey y'all, it's Sara. Just a heads up that Blair starts this episode with a pretty nasty but also very funny story about poop. So if you don't want to hear that, it does get kind of gross. So if you don't want to hear that, I'd skip to about like 5:10, 5:20. That puts you right in the theme song. Anyways, enjoy the episode.
Cool.
So what's up?
Can I tell you a really gross story? We're going to pretend like this conversation is supernatural.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's supernatural.
Oh my god.
You can edit it out if it's too disgusting.
Okay.
But so
Wow, Blair, what the fuck?
Could you imagine?
I just had to cut all of that out. Jesus Christ.
And now let me tell the tamer story that happened to me today. So I've been eating a lot of almonds recently, like probably an irresponsible amount of almonds.
The thing is that, like, I get it though. Like, I was house sitting for I was dog sitting for my parents a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
And my dad just had this square tub of almonds. Mm-hmm. And I just, like, every single time I walked past it in the kitchen, just scoop.
Yeah. Go
on.
They're so tremendous. They're so good. And also it's, like, a good way for me. Like, sometimes I won't pack lunches for myself at work because I just don't have the time in the morning or the willpower in the morning. So it's just, like, this is protein, and it's, like, protein that doesn't need to be refrigerated in any sort of way. It just can be sitting with me on my desk, and I can just munch. So I've been eating a lot of almonds recently, which I hope is related to the rest of the story.
God, please, whatever this is going to be. Probably something about poop or pee.
It is definitely about poop. So I took a huge shit today at work, and I looked down, because, you know, we always examine our shits after we take them. We shouldn't pretend as a society that we don't.
Yep.
And it was like
I need to let you know I don't know in my life if I've ever been more terrified than I am currently of whatever word is about to come out of your mouth. But this poop was so very...
You shouldn't be scared. It's because it's more confusing than it is truly terrifying.
Okay.
It was like a peachy color, like not like peach, like a sandy color.
Well, you know what they say, Blair.
What do they say?
Peach time.
Oh, I guess they do say that. It was. So why I think it's connected to the almonds is because it is directly the same color of the inside of an almond. But I was like, my poops are weird. What's up? And WebMD is like, you're dying. And I'm like, no, I don't want this to be because it was like, if you have pale poops, you probably have some sort of like alcohol-based hepatitis or something. And I was like, I don't drink that much. Or something with your gallbladders or something. There's just one. You just have the one gallbladder, right? Just the one?
Honest to God, you point a gun at my head right now. I couldn't tell you. Probably. I
think that's one of the organs you just have one of.
Yeah. Gallbladder. You get one.
You get one. And I was like, trying to figure out if there was like a non-fatal reason for me to be having this problem, but then someone else came into the bathroom and I was like, I've been on this stall for like 5 minutes, just being on my phone. I didn't take 5 minutes to shit, so don't worry about that. And someone else came into the bathroom and I was like, okay, I have to leave because sometimes I just go to the bathroom to not be at work and just fuck around on my phone. So I'm trying not to do that. So I never really came up with a reason why this would not be a fatal disease that I'm having, and I haven't Googled it since. But I'm hoping it's just because I've been eating an irresponsible amount of almonds, and I know if you eat a lot of one food, it really like affects like your whole stomach system, and not even like a negative or positive way. If it's like a legume, legumes are like fine. I think you can just eat nothing but beans and probably be okay. I think science backs that up. But so
I just want to say I'm not going to edit that out. I am going to throw in a warning, just being like, hey, if you don't want to hear Blair talk about a dump he took, just like go ahead and just like
skip 5 minutes ahead. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You're not missing too much.
No. I kind of love talking about my bowel movements, but I know it's deeply inappropriate to do. You know?
And I really want to talk about this movie also.
Okay. Okay, we can get into the podcast.
Okay. Welcome to Fear Rating, everyone. It's your number one,
I'm curious.
It's your number one love letter to yourself podcast?
I guess, okay, if we're gonna get thematic about it, sure, yeah.
We're gonna get thematic in this entire bitch, but just so you know, I took a lot of notes for this movie, none of which are plot related. So I'm gonna need you. I've seen this movie enough times. I think I got the order of events about right, but I'm gonna need you to steer the ship on that.
I will do my best.
But we gotta before we get into that, we gotta talk about upcominghorrormovies.com.
Well, let's introduce ourselves first.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm Sarah, and
Blair.
joining me is disgraced former host of the podcast.
I've been canceled.
Blair was canceled. He's too funny, all of his critics say.
Too hot for TV or podcast. But I'm uncanceling myself to reprise this role. Reprise? Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I've only seen it.
All three of those are right. Whatever the fuck you just said. I wasn't even paying attention.
Cool.
Yeah, Blair's back to get us ready for Schlocktober, baby.
Should we put air horns in the Schlocktober theme as well?
Oh, that would be great too.
Seda, I hope you're listening, and I hope you're taking notes.
Yep, better jot those down. But Schlocktober is coming up around the corner. I think we ought to give a little bit of a teaser of who our first guest is going to be, and what our first movie and guest is going to be. But we're going to save it to the end of the podcast, get you to listen all the way through. But for the uninitiated, for those who may have picked up the podcast within the last year since the last Schlocktober ended, Schlocktober is our annual celebration of bad horror movies. We love them a lot. And we have a bunch of guests on to talk about these god-awful piece of shit horror movies.
Yes.
And we also stream them.
Yes.
And thanks to the help of a new app that has sort of supplanted Rabbit, which, what was it called?
I think it's letsglitch.io, if I recall correctly.
I believe it's letsglitch.io. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. That is the app which we will be using to stream it this year because Rabbit kind of bit the dust earlier this year?
Halfway through this year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Rabbit, but there are some spiritual successors, and this is one of them. There's unfortunately no voice chat, so Blair and I will not be able to communicate over the movie.
No color commentary, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll be in the chat.
Yes.
So we'll post some links. We'll post a couple of links when we're going up, but that's going to be on Friday nights for the most part.
Yes.
We'll let you know if that changes. But anyways, fuck upcominghorrormovies.com.
Oh?
We're getting into the shits on this.
Oh, word. Yeah, let's do this.
I mean, upcominghorrormovies.com has like nothing on the front page either. Like the most interesting thing is Jurassic World 3. Sorry. And that's just to say that Laura Dern, Sam Neill, and Jeff Goldblum are back.
Have I told my Jurassic World 2 story on this podcast?
You went to see Jurassic World 2, huh?
So Pride of 2017, I think, or 2018. 2018, because I didn't go to Pride last year, and it was the last Pride I did go to. I got too drunk way too early in the day. There was a bar that you had to pay like a $5 cover on, and then you could go in and out anytime during the day, and it had a bathroom in it. So me and my friend were like, okay, let's do that right now. And we also got a free drink with our cover. So we started getting, like, we went in there, we went to the bathroom, we got a drink. And this is like at 10:30 or 11 a.m. And we're like, okay, cool. One drink was good. Let's do another drink, and then we'll actually go through the day. So we get another drink. But we had not barely eaten anything all day because this was very, very early on through the day. And I'm going to say this what I'm describing right now sets the trajectory for the rest of the day. I don't remember a lot of it. By the end of it, I think it was around 4 p.m., I was in a very, very nice pizza restaurant we have in the Twin Cities. Shout out to Pizza Luce. I ordered a pizza. I got sick in the bathroom. I ate the pizza, and then I got sick in the bathroom again.
You literally just flushed $20 down the toilet.
Yeah. I ate half of that, like $10. I had another half of the pizza.
Okay,
left.
you flushed $10 down the toilet.
Right.
Right, you're not as big as I am. You cannot just eat a whole fucking pizza.
I mean, I did eventually, just not just right then.
Yeah. No, I'm like, I'm saying if I ordered a pizza, I'm eating the whole fucking pizza within an hour after I ordered the thing.
I probably could have under different circumstances, but I just had.
So tie this into the Jurassic World.
Okay,
2.
I'm getting there. So my friend worked at a movie theater at the time, and she drove us to the movie theater she worked at. I don't remember getting there, but I do remember being at the movie theater with my box of pizza in my hand. We snuck it in with her purse. So I'm like at the movie theater. I was like, I know this movie theater. I have pizza. I know Emily. She's right next to me. I know what's going on. Everything's going to be okay. We sat down for Jurassic World 2. And throughout the entire thing, I was like, okay, I'm way more sober than I was earlier. I'm like retaining information, like I'm processing the events of this movie, but I can't really tell if like this movie makes sense or if I'm just like really overestimating how sober I am. And then I watched Jenny Nicholson's review of it afterwards, and it turns out I was just still like half blackout drunk during the entire movie because there's entire plot threads I don't remember from the movie.
Ain't that the funniest thing in the world when you're like, yeah, I think I'm pretty sober, and then you wake up the next morning and you're like, what the fuck happened?
On the flip side of that, Sara, co-host of The Wonder Years, was in Minnesota recently, last weekend, and we all went out, like me, this woman I went to Pride with in 2018, she's my roommate now. We all went like out partying in Minneapolis, and somehow, so I'm the chronic blacker outer, like you give me 2 drinks and I'm gonna not remember parts of the night, and that's just fine for me. I'm just okay with that because I'm always with people. But I was just drinking beer all night, and afterwards, like the day after, my roommate comes up to me and she's like, I don't remember getting home. And I was like, really? Because you gave the Uber driver directions the entire way there. You were like, oh no, this way is more efficient. And you seemed totally with it. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah, and there was like a whole conversation I had with Sara where I was like, keep complimenting me. Tell me how I'm your best friend and stuff. And they would. And they were like, yeah, I don't remember doing that. And I was like, good, because it was like a huge ego trip for me. And I don't need you to actually process the fact that I asked you to do that.
Okay.
We have to get into the movie, but I just wanted to tell those stories.
Okay, Dennis, let's get into the movie.
Don't call me that. Okay, we watched Paprika this week.
Sorry to out your fucking kin.
I'm not kid of Dennis. I'm kid of Trist Valentine. It's totally different.
Anyways, this week for Fear Baiting, we watched, I called it one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it just genuinely, like, is my favorite movie of all time. Like, there are other movies that are up there, but, like, this one's just out. Like, I've seen this movie so many times, and it's one of those ones that, like, I always catch something new every time. Like, I wrote an essay on this movie back in high school about it versus Inception, comparing the two, and which was, if you don't know, is because Christopher Nolan has not expressly stated as such, but it is extremely obvious that parts of Inception were lifted from Paprika.
Wasn't he the one who actually did own up to being inspired?
I had thought that previously, but he had not really said either way on it.
Okay.
Aronofsky had outright denied it. No one hasn't really said anything.
And Aronofsky is way more direct. This is
yes, absolutely. This is
right.
This definitely has some of the moments you can point to that you're like, oh yeah, that's about the same. Like that scene in Inception where Ellen Page touches the glass on the bridge and it shatters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of lifted from this movie, like conceptually, not shot for shot, like a lot of the Aronofsky lifts are.
Right.
But I digress. I've seen this movie 10, 15 times maybe.
Oh, word.
I love this movie so fucking
good,
much.
yeah.
I got it on Blu-ray a couple of months ago, and I've watched it like 3 times since then. Tonight being one of those times. Mm-hmm. I love this movie. And I'm noticing a different thing every time, a different thing that's like making me perk up, making me realize something that Satoshi Kon snuck in there, and I just love this movie so much.
It's truly tremendous. So this is my first time watching it, and I said like 2 years, but I think it might have been longer than that. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, I remember the last time I watched it, I fucking didn't understand a single thing that was happening in this movie. But I think it was because I wasn't paying as much attention as I was this time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really complicated plot threads in this movie, but I'm glad I like sat down and actually like committed to like laser focused on movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to be gleaned from this.
The thing about Satoshi Kon that is that he does a lot of not non-sequential. I guess non-sequential is the right word, but that kind of. But he does like some sort of non-sequential editing to tell something. Mm-hmm. Like the thing that I'm cribbing straight from Every Frame of Painting, Tony Zhao's video series. He did a video on Satoshi Kon and his editing. Mm-hmm. And he points to the shot. It's like 15 minutes in the movie when Shima, the short guy, goes fucking sicko mode and jumps out of a window. Mm-hmm. Because the way that scene is edited is that he jumps out the window. You see him like hanging in the air for a split second, silhouetted by the sun, and then you cut to this like bizarre dream. It's a dream. It's eventually revealed to be a dream sequence, but for like a minute, you just see like this bizarre parade, shambling through some desert, and then like not until 2 minutes after do you see a single shot of the broken window, like a tree beneath it. You see Shima's lab coat like drift off in the wind, and there's like a single line of voiceover that's like, "Yeah, I guess it could have been worse," and that's it. That's how they explain that.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to lose a lot of stuff in the sauce if you take your eyes off it for a minute, because there are things that are explained in 1 or 2 sentences. Like I like the whole the part about the anaphylactic shock that the DC mini causes is I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay. I do. Before we dive into the meat of it, I do want to say that as I was watching this, it has also been a grip since I've seen Inception, but I think I do remember that movie better than this one. Mm-hmm. And I was comparing it to the level of complexity in this movie. I was comparing it to the level of complexity in Inception, and Inception's complexity is very linear. There's just layers. So. Whereas this movie's complexity is way more
fluid.
Fluid, definitely, and like just tangled. Like
yes, absolutely. There is like you can't really kind of apply like. This movie makes logical sense, but you cannot apply logic to it.
At least not, like if you, our world logic to it.
Yeah, if you think about this movie, too hard, it doesn't fall apart. It just gets kind of like if you think hard enough about this movie, you reach a point where you don't have answers because you don't live in this world.
Right.
Whereas Inception feels like a bit more like a closed circle, and the complexities of Inception come like. The complexity surrounding Inception, quote unquote complexity, was really just that it was it was always called like a thinking horror movie, or not horror, a thinking action movie.
Sure.
When it's just like it just kind of like that you just kind of had to keep track of things,
right?
And the things were very telegraphed and everything.
And I remember quite liking Inception.
I like Inception too. I don't like.
But I don't. Yeah, I think they're doing.
It's too long.
That movie is doing something completely different than this movie is.
Yes.
And did you say it was too long?
Very much so.
Which is when I like popped open this movie, I was like, "Fuck, this bitch is 90 minutes, like a perfect 90 minutes."
Yep.
And I had just finished watching Endgame with my roommate, which is a full 3 hours long. I did it for her birthday because I love her very much. And I was like, man, I think we forget as a society that 90 minutes to maybe 2 hours is the perfect length for a movie. Like, we are truly getting excessive at this point in our life. I saw the director's cut of Midsummer, and it fucking suffered for like that extra hour of content that's in it.
I mean, that's true of like Ari Aster is best with an editor. We've said it before.
Yes.
I mean, like I think that I think A New Hope is the max. A New Hope is 121 minutes.
Yes.
And if you do more than that, you should go to jail.
Well, we should not be. I think
we should not be striving to exceed it. If your story exceeds it, that's fine. I'm saying all this. I'm probably gonna go see the Robert De Niro Irishman movie, which is like 5 hours long or what the fuck ever.
No. Well, you are a stronger woman than I.
Yep. But yeah, 90 minutes.
Yes.
This is Paprika. We
Yes.
open with one of my favorite opening lines in movie history, which is the little fucking RC car rolling up to the center of the circus, and like some clown hopping out and saying it's the greatest showtime, and then all of the circus music kicks in, like the one of 3 songs on the soundtrack that does not use Paprika's leitmotif. I'm gonna. If you listen to the Perfect Blue episode, I kind of went on my shit about this one. I'm fucking back on my bullshit with this
I mean,
movie.
I totally expected that. You were such a Satoshi Kon fangirl, so
Yeah.
yeah. And the music is, I mean, famously the music is fucking incredible. But I felt like I didn't really register how much like it hit me in the chest, and I was like, oh my god, the music for this movie is so good.
Yeah. Susuma, I've said it before and I will say it again, Susuma Hirasawa is a visionary composer. He is absolutely phenomenal at what he does. And I think that his work on other movies has been stellar. I loved his soundtrack for Tekken Concrete. I have heard good things about the Berserk soundtrack. I think Susuma Hirasawa and Satoshi Kon were a match made in heaven because they both played on these liminal spaces. And I rewatched Millennium Actress for the first time in a long time because I could not find that movie legally until it came to the States via a Fathom event, and it's now available on Amazon streaming and it's getting a Blu-ray release.
Cool.
But Hirasawa's music just kind of lives in that like dreamlike state, and like there were moments in this movie's soundtrack that I definitely heard like notes from the Millennium Actress soundtrack.
Right,
which
yeah.
Like there is a moment in particular that I'm going to point to, which is actually I'm not going to because it would require such a specific knowledge of Susuma Hirasawa's soundtrack to Millennium Actress that I don't think you or really anyone listening to this would understand. So I'm going to shelve that one.
Yeah, save it for your Medium.com article.
Yeah, that's definitely coming. But we open with this clown car, with this lady jumping out of the clown car. It's the greatest showtime, and the circus starts. Sorry, I need to backtrack for 2 seconds. I know we're at the start of the movie, but I just want to say I love so much the little jazz sting for the Madhouse logo.
Me too. I noticed. So I had to rewatch this movie the first 5 seconds of this movie a couple times because I, for some reason, really struggled to find one with English subs in it. So every time it's like, oh, this is a little jazzy. Oh, fun.
Yeah, I really do love it. It's fun.
Yeah.
But so we meet our cop. We meet Inspector Konakawa, who is investigating the circus, looking for someone or something. He's looking for someone.
Yes.
And then some fucking dream shit happens. The ringleader of the circus teleports him into a bird cage. Everyone in the audience has his face, and then suddenly he's just kind of like. He starts falling from the ceiling, and Paprika, the titular Paprika, shows up on a trapeze and says, "Grab my hand," and then they just like kind of go through what's the word I'm looking for? What's that part at the end of a musical where they do like a bunch of songs in the musical composed?
A medley.
Medley, yes. A medley of different movies. We get like Tarzan, we get like some spy thriller, we get a romance movie, we get these, and then Konakawa chases this mystery figure that is like kind of present in all of these little like 5 to 10 second vignettes. He chases him around a corner, and then suddenly we are in a hotel hallway. There is a body falling to the floor, and there is the man he was chasing exiting out on the far side. Konakawa starts to run, and the floor like crumples up on him. And there is a thing one of the things I didn't notice in any of the last times I watched this movie is that there is if you listen closely, you can hear like the sputtering of a film of like a projector.
Very
like, kind
cool.
of rattling.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
You hear it later on way more clearly, but in this very first one, and I think that the way that it's very, if you think about like this entire scene, the way that like the hotel like crumples up on him as he runs, like it very much looks like what would happen if you tried to like actually run on a film reel, because eventually like, it crumples up, it folds, and it like he falls into this white space. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm saying it does that absolutely, and it does double duty as well as really articulating. This movie really understands dreams,
Yes.
and it understands the futility of movement within dreams.
Yes.
And I feel like when I was watching it this time, I was like, yeah, dude, that's exactly how it be. It is like that sometimes. But I
really
think,
yeah.
but definitely doing double duty there thematically as well. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really strong and weird opening to this movie that I've always kind of loved. Like this entire movie is great, like top to bottom, but I really love the way this movie starts.
Yeah.
But Konakawa wakes up and is like, oh shit, okay, I was dreaming. Okay, cool. And Paprika is there next to him, and they've been dreaming together to try and figure out what's up. Why is Konakawa's brain so fucked up?
Right.
And they can't really figure it out, but Paprika introduces this DC Mini, which I've always been enamored by the way she says it the first time. Just DC Mini. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And which is just some like some transportable version of a device that it's revealed that she, in like 2 seconds, it's revealed that she had built with her team that lets people enter other people's dreams.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think so it is revealed soon, but there is that moment of time. So she's like, the DC Mini, it like allows you to traverse dreams with other people and also record them. She gives him her business card, essentially, that has like a website on it. That'll become important later. And then
RadioClub.jp.
Yes. And then we have, I guess it's telegraphed, but not explicitly, when we see Paprika in a car and then like passes another car. And then we have...
there's a cut, and Paprika changes to this woman with black hair whose hair is blowing in the wind. And then there's another cut, and her hair is tied up neatly in a bun, and she's like formally dressed. She's wearing like a pencil skirt and things. But we're skipping over a really important part of this movie.
The title credits, basically?
Yeah, the title credits.
Yes.
Yeah, the opening to this movie, which is... This is...
It's iconic, to say the least.
Genuinely iconic. Like, I think this is just Satoshi Kon being like, all right, I'm about to fucking go ape shit.
Yeah.
For just 90 seconds. I'm gonna do my shit. Susumu Hirasawa's mediational field is gonna play over it. It's not the first time you hear Paprika's leitmotif, but it is the first time it is like at the center of it, because during that medley of all the film things, you like the song that's playing does have the leitmotif. You know what I'm talking about. You know the leitmotif I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The boa. That one. And it's gorgeous. I love it so fucking much. It's just so full of like fun little like editing things and fun little like transitions that you couldn't do in physical media. And I think my personal favorite is when Paprika's running through the intersection and she snaps her fingers and all of the cars stop. I love how like everything's like stuttering, like it's trying to move to the next frame.
Well, that is also a very film. That's like
exactly. I was literally about to say that, just like stopping the projector, like, and it just like it jittering there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's really cool. But yes, so yeah, Atsuko, this character who is Chiba Atsuko, and I can't remember what exactly is her role at the.
So it's a psychological like research facility.
Yeah.
So she's just sort of like a doctor there, you know? Like she's got her Phid, funky fresh for PhD. and she's just kind of doing dream research, I guess, for like therapeutic purposes. They talk about the DC Mini as like a way to help with like mental illness, like and therapy and stuff.
Yeah.
The not the chairman, but one of the people on the board, Shima, like later in the movie, they like have a conversation. It's just like, yeah, you helped me with my depression, like doing this, so it's obviously useful. And so like this has practical purposes beyond this, but what it's being used for right now, well, first of all, it's been stolen, which is the first problem. Second of all, it's being used for like terroristic purposes, I guess.
Yeah.
Invading people's dreams without their permission, and also.
Well, we don't see that happening because at the start they're hypothesizing about, they're trying to like, because we meet the other character who I genuinely love the character of Tokita so
Me too.
much.
I really do. Yeah.
I think that Satoshi Kon strikes a really careful balance with him, which there are jokes where there are jokes about him that would not work if he was not fat, because he is a very fat character, but the jokes don't really ever feel like they are at the expense of him being fat to me.
And it just seems more like just people being assholes, really, than what the narrative is saying about
Exactly,
him.
Yeah. And Tokita gets to be such Tokita also has some of the most impressive animation work applied to him, in my opinion.
Totally, yeah.
Like that scene at the diner where he's like just eating a bunch of things. Like I love the little like the 2-second animation of him like shaking off the chopsticks, breaking up. It's just it's wonderfully animated in a way that fat characters do not get animated.
Totally. When I was watching this, I was thinking this movie has a lot to say about bodies and what having a body means, and like the inherent difficulties of existing in a body. We'll get into it, but I think he's the most immediate examples of that, you know?
Well, the chairman, though.
Well, we see the chairman slightly after him. I would say.
Right, okay, yeah, right. You meant, the first one, yes, definitely. Yes. I thought you meant looking
thematically, the chairman has a much bigger part in this, but I think Tokito is a major thematic player in this as well.
Yeah. But so Shima calls Atsuko and Tokita into his room, and we're like, all right, we should probably try and work on a solution to this before the chairman finds out. And this is the first time that you hear the creepy music that plays at like all the other really scary junctures, and you only hear it when they're outside the room. They don't like once they get up to the door itself and open it. The music stops, but the chairman is in there, and I thought that was really funny. I don't know, not funny, foreshadowing, I guess.
Sure. The chairman is so interesting as like a trope. Tokita is also very tropey, but the chairman, I feel like I've seen this exact character in a million other medias. There's a character in Deadly Premonition that, not exactly, but just like evil man in a wheelchair. It's there. It's also very Lynchian in that sort of way as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Blue Velvet, I think there's a very similar character there as well. But in any case, it's tropes. Tropes are important in this movie.
Yeah. We meet the chairman, who I don't think is ever given a name in the movie.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Just the chairman.
Yeah. But you hear this. They like the chairman is like interrogating them and is like, so I heard the DC Mini got misplaced. I also hear there's a woman named Paprika, and they're like, we're working on it. There's a really good shot that I love, which is the first time that the chairman mentions the DC Mini, we flash on Shima's eyes, which go like up and to the left, which is where Atsuko is standing. We get a close up of Atsuko's eyes, which go directly to the right, which is where Tokita is standing.
It's fun.
And then Tokita catches that gaze and just kind of like turns to the director and takes a moment to pause because it's like, well, I guess it's me. And then he starts explaining everything. But this entire scene is kind of interrupted because Shima starts talking gibberish, and a thing I love about this scene is that it eases into it a little bit, and you kind of have to like check yourself and be like back up and be like, Wait, how long has he been How long has he been coherent for?
It's perfect word salad. It really is.
Yeah, because like like there's a couple of things that he says like upon watching this movie repeatedly. Like there are a couple of things that he says that I'm like, I don't know if this is a thing that he's saying or if this is him like succumbing to the word salad.
Sure.
And then he just like walks around the room, says some shit, and is like, all right, Mr. Chairman, I'm about to head out, and jumps out the window.
Yes.
And then there's the thing we were talking about earlier where it like cuts to the parade and everything, but I don't want to just like overshadow the part of the parade, because the parade is really fucking cool.
It's really cool, and it's probably, if you've watched this movie, but it's been about half a decade since you've watched this movie, it's probably the thing you remember most strongly about this movie.
Absolutely. 100%.
Because it has the most iconic theme. It has the theme that you've heard probably a billion times after watching this movie. And it's because it's such tremendous chaotic energy.
Yeah.
And it really encapsulates the nonsense that was being like aphasiaed out of Shima's mouth, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, literally what he was describing is on screen, even though what he was describing is grammatically correct nonsense.
Yeah.
Like
the happy and mundane world will vent their anger. The 24-bit eggplant will be memorized. The dream I had yesterday and today, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he doesn't say those last two things. That's said by the scientist that they later find. And the only reason I remember those two lines in particular is because one of my favorite rappers, Milo, said that says those lines. The 24-bit eggplant will be analyzed. The dream I had yesterday and today in an album of his that I've listened to like countless times. And I only clocked it for the first time today, and I was freaking the fuck out about it.
It's very cool.
But anyways, so we get this parade, and it is, I think a really cool thing about the parade is the extent to which it squashes and stretches in like the same way that like a Western cartoon would.
Totally, yeah.
Which I think really sets it, it like, there's so much about this parade that's already setting it apart from the obvious, like the mundane world, the real world, but I think the way that it's like even, it's animated in the same way with one major difference. Like it is still like if you took a snapshot of it, it would not look like anything's out of the ordinary, but in motion it is it is just bent. It's just existing in a constant state of a smear, basically.
Right,
which is just
totally.
like, because nothing is ever on model. Everything is so bent and everything, and
Totally.
it's so cool. It's just like this oozing mass of just bullshit, of just completely random bullshit just floating through this consciousness. It's so fucking good.
And then at the apex of it, we have like a throne filled with these chattering dolls.
And atop the throne is Shima with a crown on, and he's just like fucking he's been an honor, Miss Obama, at the top of it.
Yeah.
Just completely zonked.
I love chattering dolls. I think they're so goofy but creepy. I think I'm not afraid.
The dolls in this movie are so fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's really effective. The effect is slightly lost on me because of the parts of Barbarella that I've seen that has a similar thing going on. But Barbarella is not a good movie. So it's kind of I was thinking about that, like the corniness of that versus the genuine creepiness of this at the same time. So that's fun for me. That's just a fun thing that I enjoyed.
Yeah. I know I talked about this earlier about how Kohn does editing with the 2-second shot of Shima's jacket falling off of the tree, but I really do love how when I first saw this movie, I was like, that guy just jumped out of like a 4-story building. How the fuck is he not dead? And then like there is this 1-second shot of just like a bunch of trees right outside the broken glass, and you're like, oh, okay,
right. Those trees were doing a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting.
I mean, Shima is like 3'6", so
yes, and very dense, very dense.
Short kings, keep your head up.
Yeah.
Your DC mini is falling off. But they they look in his dream, and one of the dolls starts talking to them. Its face like contorts into this like human face instead of like just like being a doll face.
Right.
And we, the audience, don't know who it is, but the characters immediately recognize it as Himuro, who was a basic not understudy, a lab assistant of Tokita's.
Yes.
A progeny, I guess. That he'd been working with, and they're like, "Oh shit! Okay, this guy stole it. This guy stole the missing DC minis," and so they drive over to his place, and they're like, "All right, let's check this place out." And Tokita breaks in, which is he like lockpicks it, which is another thing fat characters don't get to do.
Right.
Is be useful in like ways that are not like. In ways that are not just being big.
Yeah, they get to be a rogue.
Yeah, and it fucking rules.
Yeah.
And Atsuko is like, isn't that illegal? And Tokita's like, I mean, what Himuro did was way worse.
Yeah. I like Tokita because like he has a sort of moral backbone, but it seems to be very wobbly.
Yeah.
Not to say that he's like cowardly in any. Because he's not. He's not like a fearful character. But he's like, okay, I'm gonna do good things because they make me feel good. But if something that's like not morally good or not the responsible thing to do is more interesting to me, I'm also gonna do that. You know?
Yeah, it's very childlike in nature that goes along with like the entire character, and I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Like Tokita's entire character is described by one of the other characters at one point, which is just a child trapped in the body of a genius, and like that is such a succinct description of his character.
Totally.
Oh God, I love Tokita so much. But they go in and they find that Himuro had like scraped Tokita's face out of everything in his room except for a cutout photo of him that he put onto an orange robot.
Yes.
And like there's a bunch of pictures where Tokita had previously been, and there are just like cutouts where his face is not anymore. They find Himuro's like doll making stash. They find his gay porn, and then Atsuko is doing some investigating, and she finds a hole in the floor of Himuro's closet.
Right. I think this is also the first time we see Atsuko and Paprika interacting
on the screen of this. Yeah. Because in like the reflection of there's like they're like at a window, like a balcony window, and you can just see Paprika's reflection talking to Atsuko, and she's like, I don't know about this, and Atsuko's like, it's fine, we're fine.
Yeah.
And they go into the hole in the apartment, and there's an amusement park in there.
Yes. So
the scene is terrifying.
Yes, it is. It's like a rundown amusement park. Well, not really, actually. It's functioning.
No, it's functioning, just empty.
It's on one of the like trains, Atsuko sees one of the dolls that she saw.
The little doll in the red dress.
Yes, in the dream as well, and so she follows it. The train's not going very fast. She can keep speed with it, just following behind it slightly, and then she runs into the staircase leading up to the Ferris wheel. That's blocked off by a grate, like a red, fence. Like
a fence. Yep. And she walks up to it, puts her hands on it, leaps over, and then everything sinks, and she is suddenly back in the real world, falling off of a building. And Osanai, one of the other guys who works with her, is holding on to her for dear life, having just saved her from diving to her death.
How scary. Truly.
So scary.
A lot of the fear in this movie, which is, I think, we deserve an explanation. We deserve to offer our audience an explanation as why we're covering a movie like this on fear baiting. A lot of the fear in this movie is derived from a loss of control. But I think we don't really get a direct interaction with it. We get it a lot in the beginning, sort of third person. But this is the first
time we get first person.
We have to directly contend with it. Even
because Atsuko is so used to being the one in control as Atsuko Paprika as right. that she is normally the one who's helping to run the show, but now she is it's revealed later that this is the bad guys being this is a warning shot basically, but it's a really effective warning shot.
Yeah. I think a lot of people might challenge or maybe not. We don't really get haters. But I think there's a challenging of the idea of this movie as a horror movie. But I think it's more interesting to think of it as one than not.
I mean, there is just so much like genuinely scary imagery that I think it qualifies as like a just like a horror of grotesqueness, if nothing else.
Sure.
Like, take for example the entire butterfly scene at the near the end of the movie. Take, you know, fucking this scene that we just watched. There's like that scene later on when Paprika is in like the hardened shell of Himuro's corpse in the dream world.
Yes.
Like, there is so much about this movie that genuinely I did not think of this movie until a horror movie until a couple months ago. I got really high and watched it at my friend Carriageman's house, and I was terrified.
I think that might have been mostly the weed, but I will allow it.
I mean, I was watching it now, and I was like, I was also on the edge of my seat for this one.
I think it's not, maybe not intentionally horror, but I think it warrants discussion here because it does examine fear, which I think is what we're interested in talking about. I think it definitely. I personally think it crosses the threshold into horror.
I
don't, but I don't think it doesn't have a place here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. We're arguing semantics at this point. I feel like.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
literally, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no issue with us talking about it because I think I would not classify this as a horror movie, but I think I would classify this as a movie that examines fear. And
if you had gun to your head, if you had to give this movie a genre, what do you give it?
I would say like a surrealist adventure movie or something like that.
Okay, I think
it's where I understand you coming from is it is difficult to put genre on this movie because it's doing a lot. Like,
yeah, it is.
Even within the genre is a theme in this movie, so that brings additional complications to it. So
God, Satoshi Kon, his brain is so fucking big. But anyways, we go to the restaurant that we mentioned earlier with like the Tokita is just getting a bunch of food and they're just kind of talking about what happened, how it could have happened, and the conversation is mostly between Osanai and Tokita because Atsuko is obviously very shaken by everything.
Totally.
The fact that she almost just accidentally killed herself.
Right.
But They get a call and it's from the science center and we are to presume that the call is that we get the call there. Atsuko looks concerned and then we go back to the science building and there are two people just going like full word salad like Shima had been earlier.
Way more unhinged too because they're like covered.
They're hitting people.
Yeah, they're hitting people. They're covered in cords and stuff. They've obviously like walked through things in a way that's causing a lot of destruction.
We later get a hint that not a hint. We later like see like a visual scene of just like the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
And it winds up with them being carried off in a stretcher, and you see a bloody broomstick which one of them had been carrying prior, and you see like two very crashed, very mangled cars.
Yes, it's a whole thing, and so the chairman meets with Atsuko and is like, we can't. I know we were going to wait for a board meeting, but I'm the chairman, so I kind of get to do what I want, so we're shutting this whole production down.
Yep. He said the chairman has some of my favorite lines in this movie, which one of them being here, which is that science is nothing but a piece of trash before a profound dream.
Yeah.
I think, like, obviously Kon probably puts a lot of himself into all of his characters, but I think there is I think Kon has put a lot of things that he truly believes into the mouth of the director.
Right.
Or of the chairman, and I think that's really good. We jumped around a little bit accidentally because we did not talk about the scene yet where Paprika goes into the dream world to save Shima.
That's right. So we have that entire sequence, and Shima looks worse for wear. He has basically got like dolls growing out of him or growing into him. It's I think growing into him is more accurate actually. And he's like not coherent. He's not really being aware of his situation. He looks like he's totally on like a different planet. And Paprika
fucking zooted.
Right. Paprika like is like, oh, Oh, geez. So she's a little doll with, like, a bonnet going on, and she, like, argues with some of the other dolls.
That take on Himuru's face temporarily. And they're just, like, saying some shit about how, like, it's just kind of saying some shit about how the science team is, like, trespassing in the world of the dream.
Yes.
And how the realm of the dream is where the dreams are strongest.
Right.
But Paprika is like, nah, hold on a second. And then, like, melts, like, Shima recognizes her eventually, and she, like, melts into him and then makes him inflate to the size of a fucking, like, I don't know an accurate size comparison. He just gets...
Yeah, like a huge balloon, like a hot air balloon.
Yeah, like a hot air balloon size. And then he wakes up.
Yep.
And then we see another detail that I didn't notice, until this time, which is that Shima has thus far in the movie been shown with really, really big eyes.
Uh-huh.
And then for the first time after he's waking up from his like dream coma, he wakes up and he doesn't have his glasses on, and we see that his eyes are actually really, really tiny. And then he puts his glasses on, and then they're just like the size of fucking like grapefruits on his face.
It's tremendous. I mean, that's also another huge like visual trope, but it's one I very much enjoy. I think it's very good. So
you can see his glass. You can see that his glass. Like if you look closer, you can see that his glasses are like an inch and a half thick.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god, we are going through this movie at a snail's pace. We have not even finished the first third of this movie.
I kind of expected this to be a long episode because. Yep.
Me.
But also me. Like, we both have a lot to say about this movie, I think. And there's also, I mean, it's a short movie, but there's a lot happening. Mm-hmm. It's very quick-paced.
Like, that's one of the benefits of Satoshi Kon's editing, is that, like, he gets details to you in the most efficient and short ways possible without ever, as short as he can without having to sacrifice his craft. And there's just so much packed into this movie. Like, when I first watched this movie and then looked at the back of the DVD cover and saw, oh yeah, that was 90 minutes, I was like, what the fuck?
Totally. I mean, I was having the same emotion when I was watching this, because I was like, I was just checking where I was at in the movie, and I was like, are you kidding me? Only, like, not in a bad way, but only 30 minutes have passed? This feels like an entire movie.
Like, when I out of curiosity, when they returned to, because shortly after this, so the chairman shuts down the DC Mini, and and then just by happenstance, Atsuko happens to see something that happens to see the back of Tokida's shirt, which has like a mascot for the park that she went into in Himuro's dream earlier, when she almost jumped off the building, and then they head to that, and that's like 30 minutes into the movie.
Right, totally.
Which is like, in my memory, that is like a second act, if not third act occurrence.
Totally. So they examine this whole thing. They're at the park, and they're just kind of having a conversation about it. And then they see the doll again. We see, which is like, oh, that's a real doll, not just a dream doll. We see Atsuko's hesitation as she's like, she grips the railing. She's like, This is one of the few things that not one of the few things. This is one of the things that Kon does really well in this movie that you can't really get elsewhere. Which is this like conditioning of fear around this, because he is doing. If you compare the shots of the time that Atsuko almost accidentally jumps to her death and this time when she jumps just over the railing, it is like shot for shot, pixel for pixel, identical. Yes. And you cannot get that with you cannot get that without animation. Totally, yeah. And it works, but she lands, she's fine.
She's cool.
Except Paprika's like, hey, look out. And
Watch
then
out, because there's a corpse coming from the ceiling.
Well, not a corpse, it turns out.
Yes.
Just a human body just falling down.
I mean, it's revealed that he's basically a corpse.
Yeah, but him being alive is important narratively for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
Because so he's fallen down, and then we see something. So it's what's his name?
Tokida?
Himuro.
Himuro.
It's Himuro who fell, which I think they both suspected because they've been like, oh, he's the guy. And then we see him face up, and then we see like the tendrils of the DC, not mini, I think the DC proper.
No, I think it is the DC mini.
Yeah, crawling through his like flesh, like some sort of like body horror alien.
Terrifying. So it's like worming underneath his skull.
Yeah, so he's I mean, yeah, I totally get it. Like he's basically integrated with this technology that's like really dangerous. And he's obviously creating a lot of or not creating or being used to create a lot of chaos, because things get a little, from here on out, things get a little grayer if he's actually responsible, because things continue to happen despite him not being even the least bit coherent about the situation. So we get all of that.
Yep, and this is when Konakawa has been called, the cop Konakawa, who hasn't been seen for the last 30 minutes of the movie, which is a long time to go without this character who is like essentially the protagonist of this movie. Like, not protagonist, but like secondary protagonist, I would say, to Paprika and Atsuko.
He definitely has the emotional thrust of this movie.
Yes, 100%. What was I going to say? That Konakawa shows up, and Atsuko enters and is like asking Tokita about the DC Mini, and Atsuko walks into the room, and you get the Paprika's theme leitmotif again, and just like this, like the song title, the title of the song on the soundtrack is actually a little bit better, is pretty descriptive of it. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up, make sure I get it exactly right. Because the song is titled "A Drop Filled with Memories," which is very much what that song sounds like to me. Because it, but anyways, so that starts, and Tokita is explaining the DC Mini to Konakawa, and slowly getting like more and more scientifically complex about it. But a thing I love about this is how animated Tokita gets. It's another thing that I called attention to earlier. But like Tokita is so fucking like. He's moving so much in this. He's talking with his hands. He's talking with his expression so much. And it's a level of expression that, again, fat people do not get to have in movies.
Totally. Yeah, being allowed to, I guess, take up space. It's like physical space in a film, you know?
Yes. It's really good. But Konakawa is more concerned with the fact that his dream helper is suddenly in the office with him, and he's just kind of like he's suspicious because he saw Paprika. This is Atsuko, two sides of the same coin. He's suspicious, and he looks at her the whole time. He won't take his eyes off her, and then the instant that she makes eye contact with him for the first time in the scene, the music stops.
Yeah,
and then she's like, "Are you sure you're talking to Dr. Tokita?" And he's like, "Yeah, yes." you were saying, sir.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's a whole encounter between.
Well, we learned that Shima and Konakawa are old friends.
Went to college together, which
they went
seems
to college
fucking
together.
insane to me, because Shima looks like he's good 10 to 20 years older than Konakawa.
I mean, if you compare the Konakawa that we see in this movie to the Konakawa that appears in the flashbacks, like, maybe he just aged gracefully.
So Konakawa looks like he's 45, maybe 50. Shima looks
Shima's hard to age because he is like literally half the height of Konakawa.
He looks like he's in his 60s, is my guess. But, you know, maybe he just didn't age super well, or maybe Konakawa aged super well, like the reverse. Maybe he's just like the most.
You know how every cop ages extremely well.
Famously.
I don't know. Maybe Japanese cops got that anti-aging cream.
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay. But yeah, they have a conversation. The chairman interjects, and Konakawa's like, "That's Paprika, isn't it?" And Shima's like, "So what do you think about this case, buddy?" Because Konakawa's been like trying to solve this murder, like this that's pretty unrelated to the story writ large, except for it provides the imagery for his dreams where he is standing in the hotel hallway.
It is sort of like an emotional MacGuffin in a way.
Yeah.
Where
it
doesn't really matter, but it matters to propel the character forward.
Exactly. Yeah. What happens next? I can't remember the next. I can't remember what happens. After this scene.
I think. So two things that happen around this time in the movie, and I can't remember which one happens first, is Konakawa logging into that website and like having another interaction with Paprika.
Yep, RadioClub.jp, and we meet the two bartenders, who are one of whom is modeled after and voiced by Satoshi Kon.
Yeah. I don't believe either of them get names, even like metatextually. So we meet those bartenders. This whole section with Konokawa is interesting, but I think it's not super plot relevant. So I feel okay with like sort of like skipping over it as long as so we get an examination of like Konakawa's fear of movies or reticence towards movies. It's really depicted as fear, but I think it's just some sort of like he doesn't really understand this anxiety that he has, so he just sort of avoids it, and that's kind of what this whole therapeutic thing is about. So that happens. He shuts it down. Bad things. It's very gloomy, I guess. It's not very, very hopeful. But this does introduce like another location that we'll return to, which is basically the importance of these sequences is like filling the world with like dream locations. So concurrently, Atsuko is talking to Tokita about like she's actually like giving him a fucking earful about how immature he's being about this whole thing because he's building another
DC Mini.
Yes. He's building another one. She's like, that's super irresponsible. It's creating a lot of damage. She knocks it off of his desk, like insults him a whole bunch, and like in fairness, he seems completely unfazed by the whole thing because like he just lets her leave after the whole thing and just picks up what he's been working on, and he's like, all right, time to continue doing this thing that I was intending to do in the first place.
Yep. Because like if anything, this very obviously drove Tokita for like Tokita. We find out that Tokita and Himuro were very, very close friends. Mm-hmm. I mean, we kind of knew that already, but like we didn't really know exactly how close they were. But with Atsuko like fucking screaming at him about this, like Tokita wants more than he ever did before to be with his friend, who he perceives as his only friend left, because like he's not friends with Shima. He doesn't know who the fuck Konakawa is. Mm-hmm. Atsuko just fucking blew up at him and called him a bunch of names and basically was like, "Fuck you, eat shit, give you the double bird, deuces."
Right.
And then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go chill with Himuro in the Dream Zone."
Right. I think because he is interested in like, he's like, well, I know this technology and I can get to the bottom of this. You know, like he does care about Himuro, but I think he's more interested in understanding what's happening rather than, again, being motivated by any sort of like moral thrust, which is fine. I think that's a fine motivation for a character. I think it's a really good motivation for a character.
Like this is all extremely internally consistent with the childlike way, like with the childlike, like he is not infantile in his mind. I don't want to but like he has like a childlike way of reasoning and way of thinking that I think comes. I think it's really interesting how this character manages to be that without being infantilized.
It's interesting because I understand that reading, and it's obviously textual, so maybe I'm just missing out on something. I don't read his motivations as very immature. I think they're just disinterested, you know? I guess that could be immature. I really don't know.
I more read his motivation here specifically as immaturity, as like he thinks he is king shit of fuck mountain. He thinks he can do this. And he wants to help his best friend. Sure. Like, I think, like, breaking this down to its bare... Like, maybe that just happens to any character's motivation if you break it down to its bare essentials, but it does seem, like, childlike in nature, I guess. I definitely... I mean, that's textual, so, like, I definitely think you're right. It's just... I think it's not... And this is probably why... like it doesn't feel infantilizing, is because you see a lot of childlike narratives that don't feel anything like this. Mm-hmm. But I think because it definitely happens in it's definitely a different understanding of what it means to be motivated as a child. Yeah. It's self-interested, but not morally interested. But not. Yeah. So it's interesting. Anyway, he gets into the dream. He's that little robot that he saw with his face taped onto it. Yep. I love Tokita's dream robot.
It's very cute. It's very cute.
This is one of the few things where you can like literally see what I was talking about earlier. Like compare the Tokita that talks to the doll in this that he thinks is Himuro. Compare how that's animated to how the Tokita that's been infected by the dream is animated later on.
Right.
Like you know what I'm talking about when Paprika encounters Tokita in the movie theater.
Right.
And
totally.
he like does like the fucking like Looney Tunes wind up and just runs past her.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's way more naturalistic. He's moving like he would normally, but he's just got robot constraints.
Yeah.
So he has a conversation with Himuro, who he thinks is Himuro, and then like they sort of like lecture him about this, and he's getting excited about it because like that's right, like dreams are going to start creating. We're going to start creating infinite dreams. Isn't that exciting? Like I'm learning so much about this thing I've made. Of like damn the consequences, I guess, but not really damn the consequences because I'm not even thinking about the consequences.
And then the scary music kicks in, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, but he realizes it, and not sort of. The thing is about Tokita is that he's not a fearful character. I think it would be very easy for him to also have a fear-based motivator, but he doesn't. You don't really see him shake in the face of anything, because even when he realizes it's not Himuro, he's like, "Oh, okay, well that's interesting. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with that now."
What have you done with Himuro?
Yeah, so I think his character is probably one of the most interestingly motivated characters.
Yeah.
And also in the face of everything else that's happening in the movie, the fact that he doesn't seem to be fearful of even though he should be, he definitely should be, because he's got the least grasp on what's going on.
And I think that contributes to why he is not fearful. He does not understand the full ramifications of everything. He only understands it as it really pertains to him, and it's a sort of selfish way of thinking. And again,
totally.
not to go back to this, but it is a very childlike way
that
of thinking.
that actually I totally buy. As I was talking through that, I was like, oh no, this is what you mean.
Yeah, this entire situation is recontextualized within the how exactly this pertains to him thing. When the DC mini gets stolen, his first response is I can make another one.
Totally, yeah, definitely.
He doesn't care that it got stolen. He doesn't care that it could be being misused. Not until someone points. He cares once it's pointed out to him. But his first line of thinking is how does this pertain to me? How can I fix this immediate problem? And he does not see. He figures out a solution to the immediate problem, but not any of the complications that may result as a result of that problem rolling downhill.
Right. Well, a complication is just a problem that'll face later, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why bother with that now? So
yeah. And the reason Atsuko just before this entire thing happens, Shima bursts in and is like, Atsuko, and then they go what do they do while he's doing this? I can't remember. Because they have to go. Yeah, they go help Konakawa. We're back in Konakawa's dream again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And instead of he's still talking to the clowns around him, and instead of responding to him in kind like they did with the first time we saw this scene, they are instead reciting film techniques at him. Hey, you just crossed the line of action. That's going to be confusing. And it's you need to do pan focus. This is too narrow.
Yeah, totally.
And then the dream shakes out as usual. It goes in the birdcage. The floor falls out beneath him, but he just falls into an elevator where Paprika is serving looks as Miss Jackie herself.
Uh-huh. Ooh, it rules.
Yeah.
So she's talking him through this whole thing. We get another examination of his trauma and stuff. It has to do with the number 17. That's thematically appropriate. They go to that floor, then he can't. It's all floor 17.
The floor
so
falls apart on him again. It's the exact same shot as last time, and I'm bringing this up because it is relevant later.
Right.
It's another one of those conditioning things, with jumping over the fence.
Right. And then we see this in a third-person perspective broadcast on a film. Actually, a couple times in this sequence, we see it broadcast in a third-person perspective on a film screen that is being watched by Paprika. And
Paprika alone.
Yep. And
good job. And then we cut over we were a little bit out of order because what happens is oh my god. Atsuko like storms out on him on Tokita. And then we get this sequence, and then we get the whole Tokita going into the dream and finding out it's not Himuro. And then we cut back to like this, where Paprika and Konakawa are discussing some of the film terms. Like she's like, "So what is the line of action?" And we get like a cool little like breakdown of what the line of action is, and what is pan focus, and it's really funny to me that. And I've said this before, but it's really funny to me that there is a character both modeled after and voiced by Satoshi Kon himself, and yet the character that is his self-insert is Konakawa.
Yeah.
Like, the entire character of Konakawa is, like, it's just... Satoshi Kon, I think, just loved movies in a way that I don't know that a lot of directors do.
Sure, yeah.
Like, if other directors love movies as much as he did, then they certainly do not wear it on their sleeve as much, because all of Satoshi Kon's movies are about movies in some metatextual way. Like, definitely, yeah. Or textual in this case. Like, the way that everything is, Millennium Actress is a very good example of this. I think, God, you should... Have you seen Millennium Actress?
I haven't. I've been dying to.
It's on Amazon Prime streaming now, so you can just watch it when the fuck ever you want. I really recommend it.
Right on.
Probably never going to cover it here because that is just a drama film.
Right.
Same with Tokyo Godfathers. Maybe someday we'll do Paranoia Agent, but that's a series, so that'd be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it'd be fun though.
It would be. Mm-hmm. But this scene gets me every time. It's just the most pure expression of, like, it just feels like Satoshi Kon steps into the movie for like 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah. And is like,
Paprika just gets to pick his brain, basically.
Yeah, it's so fun. Good. He just like, it feels like his entire heart is just in this scene. Mm-hmm. And there's a really cool thing that I think it happens in the scene, at least, that Paprika looks up and she sees like the ceiling, which is like this, like there is like this alcove carved out in the ceiling, this rectangular alcove broken up into 3 like windows by just like black lines. There's a black outline around it, mm-hmm. and it looks exactly like a film strip, and I fucking love it. It's very cool.
Yes, very like subtle telegraphing in this movie, which I like telegraphing, but I don't like to be like, this is being telegraphed, and the movie is just hitting me with the telegraph on the head.
And then this movie does...
I'm smart enough.
Yeah. This movie does a thing that I think is really good, which is that it maybe dramatic irony is the word I'm looking for, but this is not the first time it does it. Where, like, you see in the background of their conversation that they're having about why this is so important, why the number 17, why everything, what happened. In the background, because we're about to make this breakthrough with Konakawa about his brain, about his problems.
Yes,
and
brain problems.
We see the parade filtering in through the background, and the parade is horrifying. I think that, like, the concept of the parade is such, like, it's so scary to me. Like, far scarier than anything with that much nonsense should be.
It is so daunting. This is like, and this is what I love about the horror aspects of this movie, are that they are so bright, colorful, and like high energy, and but truly chaotic in a way that is deeply disconcerting. Like
you compare this to Perfect Blue, and like definitely at the very end of that movie, like the thing of villainy is very colorful because it is Mima's manager in that, like, that bright frilly red and pink tutu. But for the entire duration of that movie, the source
there's so
of the
much
horror,
explicit violence in that movie, and there isn't in this one. So
there is, like, the most violent thing that happens, I think, is Himuro falling from. No, actually, someone gets shot in this movie. Never mind, someone does get shot in this movie.
Yes, but it's really nothing compared to Perfect Blue.
Yeah, Perfect Blue had some shit.
Yeah.
But so this dream, like, filters in through the back of the auditorium, and they don't even see it for like the next 10 seconds. They're only alerted to it when a frog does a cool somersault and hits his bass drum.
Yes, and then we hear the parade theme start up again.
Yep.
In a way that was like deeply satisfying to me, in a way that I didn't expect. I was like, because I saw the parade coming, and I was like, you don't even hear it like fade in from the background or anything.
It's just the frog smacks its bass drum, and it's ba 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 ba.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good.
Everybody knows shit's fucked.
And then we see Tokita again, like robot Tokita, and we talked about this earlier. Paprika tries to stop him, And he's like, no, I'm robot. And then just like, steamrolls her, basically.
Yep.
And then, so that's like, that's something they have to deal with. The dreams, we as again, dramatic irony, you were totally right when you said that. We as an audience have known that the dreams are merging, but now our pivotal characters are having to deal with that fact. They are. We see Konakawa get totally swept up on it as Paprika is like trying to make a break for it all.
Yeah, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then like the cinema like explodes behind them to reveal that they've been in the desert the whole time, with the in the dream sequence, and then
Atsuko just wakes up and informs Shima about what's happening. And then she's like, "Okay, I have to do the whole DC mini thing in the same room as Tokita and Himuro.
Yeah.
So we're gonna deal with that way." Mm-hmm. I believe that's what happens, at least in a very base narrative way. Any details I don't really remember.
But we get this. The one of the very few complaints I have with this movie that bothers me every time is that we get this incredible shot that like where Atsuko's like, I have no choice, and it zooms in on her face, and then like the way that the camera moves, it almost feels like it bounces off her face.
Yeah.
And like it like zooms in all the way, so all we can really see is like the bridge of her nose. It bounces, and then all of a sudden we're looking at Paprika floating in the sky. And it's an incredible transition. The one thing that sours me on it is the fact that it plays one measure of the lead up to the like one measure of the start of the Girl from Byakuya / Mediational Field. Mm-hmm. The yo. It plays one measure of that and then goes right into the song off beat, which bothers me every fucking time. It's such a minor thing, but there's normally a 4-measure build-up to that hit. There's a 4-measure build-up to that in the opening, and I get you. If you don't want to do all 4, I get it. Give me 2. Make it even. Make it work.
Because I didn't even notice, but I appreciate you as a person. I appreciate you.
But yeah, she turns into Wukong, the Monkey King, flies around on a cloud for a little bit, sees the parade, and is like, I'm gonna go inspect some shit. Mm-hmm. And she like finds this. There's like a bunch of like Tokita dolls just kind of littering the floor in this. Like she like peels away some of the reality, basically.
Yeah. So this is the scene we were talking about that is paralleled by Inception. Mm-hmm. She goes into this room. It's like Tokita dolls everywhere, and they're vibrating a little bit. Their heads are spinning like rapidly, almost in a sort of cicada bug-like way.
Yes, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Because they're also making that noise, sort of. It's a little rattlier, but I think that's what it's trying to evoke.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it is. I just fucking realized, because you like the very next scene is Paprika heading into that well, and it's just like this weird, like, veiny, hollowed out area, and she flies out, and it is Himuro's shell, like a cicada.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, that's so cool!
It's very cool.
Oh my god, I can't wait to hear myself reacting to that when I edit this thing. Oh, but yeah, so she goes in, and we see Paprika's pussy for like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Because she's a little like Tinkerbell fairy right now.
Yeah. She flies into the hole, and there is she flies into this hole, and she's in this thing. She stumbles across something that looks like some eye holes, and she has this dawning realization. She flies out of it and looks down, and it is just like this cicada-like shell that Himuro once occupied.
Yes. Like, so he's basically a vegetable at this point, we learned.
Brain dead. Literally brain dead.
Yes. So, and then she's like, well, okay. She turns around, and it's just a tree with the chairman's face on it, and she's like, fuck. Okay, gotta leave now. And she wakes up, and she's like, Shima, bad news. chairman's involved.
Well, no. She runs from him a little bit and like gets woken up at just the very last second. And this is the first time that we see Atsuko like ever in this entire movie. She's been cool, calm, and collected for the most part. She did yell at Tokito that one time, but like this is the first time she really shows how shaken she was. She was not all there. She was not exactly talkative after the incident earlier at Himuro's apartment, but like she is like. She is just wearing an expression that we have not seen from her previously in this movie, and it is so good.
Yeah. Actually, worth noting, a small detail I did notice that I thought was super interesting and definitely a foreshadow, is that when Paprika is leaving the sort of like Tokita cicada den, we see like a pink lit statue of David, but it looks like
Osanai, yeah.
Osanai, and I was like, oh, that's going to be relevant later, and it basically was. David being the ideal man, you know, it's this movie is about bodies.
Yeah. But she wakes up and she's like, all right, Shima, we got to go take on the director, and they drive over there, and they go there, and they get there, and is like, all right, director, you got to stop doing this, and then one of like possibly my favorite line in this entire movie, where the director is like has another one of his talks about how science is invading the dreams, and the line is, "The dreams are horrified that their safe refuge is destroyed by technology."
Totally, and that is exactly the emotion that this movie evokes.
Yeah.
It's really really good.
They wanted to find out, they wanted to see if they could, so they never stopped to think about if they should.
Right, and then we get one of the most unnerving visuals in this movie, which is the chairman standing up and not walking, but sort of gliding, but we don't see his feet. So,
he's on a Segway.
Yeah, so I'm like...
He's stuck on a hoverboard.
Right, so I'm like, okay, so obviously this isn't real, but how is this not real? Or maybe, but obviously this isn't real. But then we see, like, fucking, like, tree root tendrils, like monstrous octopus style, just funnel out, and then
Shima turns into Shima. It like zooms in. It's on Atsuko's face, and then it pans out, and you realize, oh shit, this is Paprika's face. And then it pans out further, and you realize, oh shit, that wasn't Shima. That's Osanai standing next to her now.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool and very effective.
And then we get one further pan out, which is panning out of the computer screen that Shima is watching this entire scene play out on, and him just being like you can just see him hammering the escape, control delete button.
Yeah, desperately trying to wake
Atsuko
up, because she's like, because Paprika's like, you gotta wake her up. We're still dreaming, and this is a problem. So she runs. We get these tendrils following her like a wave. She's walking through a hallway, and I think it has to be a direct homage to The Shining. The way that these tendrils like flowing like liquid against like the walls and crashing into things, and how she has to evade it. Not literally visually, but also close enough and like hotel-ish enough that I was like, that is exactly what I'm feeling right now. And which makes sense because movies are really important to this movie. And is there anything more iconic than fucking Stanley Kubrick's The Shining? Like literally, probably one of the most referenced movies of all time.
Definitely. Like there's this chase sequence, and it's just Paprika. It's another medley of films, kind of like we get a Greek fantasy movie, we get like a mermaid movie.
It's interesting. I don't know if movies is it, but it definitely is. We're definitely getting a medley of something, because she flies into a painting of Oedipus and a Sphinx. She becomes the Sphinx, and Osanai becomes Oedipus, and she is like pithy about that. And yeah, then she gets stabbed. She dives into the ocean. She becomes a mermaid. She gets swallowed by the chairman, who is a whale, but with a human face. That's pretty cool. It's a really
funny looking whale. But he splurts her out of his blowhole, and there's a really cool scene where like Paprika is it is very explicitly an upright orientation of the camera that we are seeing. And the orientation of the camera does not change. We just see Paprika like kind of flipping around in the air, and then she lands what looks like upside down in the pile of the dolls in the parade, and then the camera just does like a very like just kind of almost a cheeky like a 180-degree flip, just like to correct.
I don't know if I like or hate this. I don't think I hate it, but I wish it was more. I wish the unreversing of the shot was a little bit more interesting to look at than just a standard 180 flip.
Yeah.
But I do understand the cheekiness of it.
I think it's a little bit like it doesn't really feel standard to me because it feels almost amateur. Like it feels like that's what happens if you rotate a scene 180 degrees in 3 seconds in After Effects without like doing anything to the footage otherwise.
Sure, yeah.
Which is not a thing that anyone would do in a movie otherwise.
Right. Yeah, I think when you said cheeky, I was like, okay, I understand this a little bit more. Because when I was watching this, I was like, this isn't upsetting me and it's not making me not enjoy this movie. I just like know like unreverses have been done in more interesting ways in other movies I've seen. But I think it being like a little like elbow into the ribs sort of about the whole thing is probably correct.
And then I love this scene because Paprika looks up and Paprika is just like a little Pinocchio doll in the parade looking up at where Osanai and the chairman are both sitting with like their hands on her, just like holding her in place. And she looks and she sees herself from like 15 minutes ago as Wukong looking over the parade, and she's like, Paprika, don't! And then suddenly her conscience is transferred to
very dreamlike. Very dreamlike.
Yeah, exactly. I was literally about to say that, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
It's very, very, very good.
And then she tries to run away and runs into a cloud of blue butterflies and...
Yeah. Just pops out of existence, sort of, until she wakes up again staring at a ceiling. And then we get a moment, we get a very extended scene that is, you're also, if you've seen this movie, you're probably, but it's been a while, you're probably familiar with this scene as well, because it's very, very evocative.
Yeah.
It's basically a one-on-one between Osanai and Paprika. Mm-hmm. And there has been this like through line of Paprika sort of being the ideal woman, or at least she's a dream girl, basically.
Literally,
you know?
Yeah. As is called attention to by multiple characters in the movie, she's literally a dream girl.
Yeah, I think a dream girl is more accurate than an ideal woman, you know, because because there's very much something very manic pixie about her.
Literally pixie talk. If we're going back to the Tinkerbell thing.
Absolutely, no, yeah, I was just thinking that. Everyone is kind of in love with her except for Shima, I would say. Mm-hmm. Shima's like, I'm a grandpa.
I love Shima so much.
He's so good. Osanai and Paprika have this whole conversation. It doesn't really show much except for how disgusted he is by bodies other than his, because he's got like he's the David. He's got the ideal body. And that's like very on the nose thematic telegraphing about disgust surrounding bodies and possession of bodies. He's essentially, I think he articulates, he's essentially giving his body in a sort of way to the chairman, in a sort of dream-like way, or at least that's the chairman's goal for the whole situation. I guess in return of power. I think that's what's happening. And then we, between these shots is Konakawa sort of like being like, I'm not drunk, you're drunk. I think he says, which I love, he's like, look, I know I'm drunk, which means I'm sober, because if I was drunk, I wouldn't know I was drunk. Which is not true, but okay.
No, but it's a little bit more that he's like saying, okay, so this is a dream,
right?
Because I reckon, and so on and so forth. And he's right, but his logic is bad, but he got the right answer.
Yeah, totally. Like the bartenders are like, okay. And then he like. We get like a more in-depth examination of like his whole psyche and like the film thing. Apparently, he was making
out that he had made a film once as a youngin', and he did it with his friend, a longtime friend of his, who he considered like another part of him.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just like he does that thing where, like, I don't know if this is the thing that happens to everyone or if it's just me. That's true of a lot of my things in my life, but I digress. You ever, like, when I'm just, like, I feel like I'm just, like, I'm thinking about something and then it feels like I, like, trip over, like, a trap door that I've hidden, like, memories inside? And, like, I open it and just shit starts, and just, like, I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, that makes so much sense now.
Well, I mean, not really, but,
Cool.
because if I forget something, it's not coming back. That's just true of me. But,
I'm talking about more, like, suppressed memories from childhood.
not really.
Okay.
But I guess I get what you mean. I will say what did happen to me today that I think evokes a very similar emotion is that Roswell was texting me. He's like, hey, remember when evil clowns were like a thing in 2016? And I was like, what the fuck? I totally forgot about that. I totally erased that from my consciousness. 2016 was truly insane. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we all had to forget 2016 for the better part of our health.
The clown thing. The clown thing specifically. That's insane. Why was anything happening? Anyway.
Hey, if I wanted to see killer clowns, I'd take a look at the White House.
Oh, boo! It's not
Getting
HKIP. It's
political.
not HKIP. Get out of here.
Okay, bye.
I'm getting a hooked cane and I'm dragging you off stage.
Yeah, but so Osanai plunges his hand into Paprika's pussy and like splits her down the middle.
Yes. So basically, shedding the paprika skin, I guess. And he says something interesting, either here or a bit earlier, where he's like, why are you dressed up like a girl? Like, I like you how you're usually dressed up, which I think is just a mistranslation. As it's supposed to mean something else. I think probably girlish or more feminine. But I would say that Atsuko is dressed basically about as feminine as Paprika is. I don't know. It's interesting, and I really don't know what it's supposed to mean, and I kind of wish I did. But yeah, so but the essence of that is that he prefers this quote unquote real self.
Mm-hmm. It's like the dudes that say, I like real women. I like women that don't wear makeup and shit like that. Like, well, Osanai is such a friend, is a brony friendzone.
It's the sort of like idealization of womanhood. Like you just have to peel away to get this perfect version of a woman, Mm-hmm. And Atsuko is not even that because she's not even conscious when he like peels away like the paprika. Like she's not anything.
Yep. And he's like, all right, I'm about to have sex with this. And then the chairman's head like pops out of his neck and he's like, fuck you are, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So they start fighting with each other, which gives ample time for Konokawa to like Stranger Things, like put like shoved through the wall of the movie screen.
Yes.
And tear through and like just grab Atsuko, and the chairman and Osanai sharing the same body are like, hey, don't take her, and he just like does this funny little like waddle out of the room carrying Atsuko in his arms.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Shima like directs him into his dream. Well,
yeah.
First Osanai like explodes into a bunch of butterflies.
Yeah.
But then Shima's like, hey, just go into your dream. And like we get like the medley from the first movie again of like the Tarzan and the spy movie and the romance movie and all that stuff. And
right.
Osanai is there trying to kill him.
Uh-huh.
And then we get to the scene with the hall in the hotel hallway again, and we get the exact same shot of Konokawa starting to run, exact same shot. And you expect, because you've seen it twice now, you expect that floor to crumple under him. And you are worried in that split second, in this heat of the moment, that is going to happen. And then nothing happens. Just keeps running.
Yeah.
Because the film has more, the reel has more footage now.
Yes.
And he's like, this time I'm going to end it, and blasts Osanai in the back. And he's like, that actually hurt.
Yeah.
Then he blows off his gun, and it's like, the end.
And then he gets a standing ovation from the audience.
And he starts making out with Paprika, and then Atsuko he starts making out with the unconscious Atsuko, which is kind of fucked up. And then Atsuko wakes up in the real world and slaps Shima, who had been like kissing her to wake her up because he tried every other thing he could. It was like fuck it, sexual harassment time.
Yeah. She slaps him super hard.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Your grandpa, it's fine." About the whole thing, which is like, I mean, whatever. People just recently did a lot worse to you, so I think that's probably okay.
Yeah. Defo.
But it is such a button on this whole arc that I knew for a fact that
it wasn't over.
Right. So
we get the scene of like Atsuko and Shima being like, "So is Tokita okay?" And Shima's like, "He's still kind of under." And we see like during like this, there's like 30 seconds here where we see this. They're like just sitting on the floor of this office, and like they are below desk height. And then on the windows that are above where they can see, you see this bloody handprint come and like start smearing on the wall on its way to them, and they don't notice it. They literally do not notice it in that scene. They do not, as far as we are shown in the movie, they do not see it, because what they see is the like some spectral form of Osanai shambling through the doorway, and like he falls over it and like dies and fades out of existence. Mm-hmm. because when he got shot in the dream, he got shot for real. Right. And then and Atsuko's like, "Oh shit, the dreams are merging. We gotta go." And then they start walking quickly. Shima's like, "Hey, I'm gonna call Konakawa. Hey, Konakawa, what's up?" And the line starts reading them word salad. The phone is like, "Doo-doo-doo. We're sorry. We are going to say some word salad to you now. There are too many tires in the ocean." And we see the doll with the black hair and the red dress from earlier, like giant, like standing outside, like just standing at eye level with this glass walkway, like 6 stories up. And this gets a laugh out of me every little time. That little like waddle she does to get like 2 inches closer to them before she screams and breaks everything is so fucking funny.
Yes. But also that laugh she does, I didn't realize it was so ingrained in my consciousness, because I was like, wow, yeah. Anyway, so there's a whole chase sequence.
Paprika and Atsuko. Paprika shows up alongside Atsuko, like being in the same physical space for the first time, because with each other for the first time, because the dreams and reality are merging, and so they get together for the first time. They're trying to chase down the source of this. And at some point we cut to a hotel room where the chairman and Osanai are together, both with a DC Mini on their heads, and we see Osanai's like corpse. We see like Osanai's corpse fall into a corner of the room, and like that corner of the room just like plunges down with him into like some dark inky depths that we don't know where it is. And Osanai like crawls after him, and is like, "I need that body. Mm-hmm. I need legs." Mm-hmm. Chairman needs legs.
But does he deserve them?
Well, has he written a song of? Fuck, I can't. I don't remember Ariel needs legs well enough to make the reference to make that joke. God damn it.
A medley comprising all original, how many ever Pokemon, etc., etc., etc.
151. Good. All right, teamwork. Got there.
Yeah, I don't know Pokemon well enough, but I do know Mulesi Surega pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, he dives into that hole. But then Paprika and Atsuko are like running around the city, and they get into a bit of an argument where Paprika is like, "Hey, we got to go fucking do this," and Atsuko is like, "But Tokita he needs help. He's in trouble." Because like Tokita robot is giant now, and he had just like stopped the big red dress doll from killing them by shooting missiles at it. Mm-hmm. But Atsuko is like, "We have to help him." Paprika is like, "Why do you need to help him? Huh?" And Atsuko's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, mm-hmm. Yeah."
And I was like, I don't think I got that the first time I watched it, even though it's explicitly telegraphed at the end of this movie. But I was like,
she's in love with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is another one of those things that I did not catch until this time through that makes me laugh my ass off. Because Atsuko or Paprika, when Paprika is being when Paprika is pinned down to the butterfly table as the butterfly by Osanai, he says something and she responds with, "You sound just like some old baldy I know."
Yeah.
Atsuko says something, and Paprika replies, "You sound just like some old baldy I know." And then when we cut back to Atsuko reacting. We cut back to a wider shot of Paprika standing next to Shima, and Shima is like patting his head, being like, "I'm bald. You talking about me?" Like
it's very dear. It's very cute.
Good. Yeah, but so Paprika and Shima fuck off to do something, and Atsuko's like, "All right, let's go talk to Tokita." And Tokita, giant robot, is like, "I think I will eat you," and he eats her.
Yes. And then he says something to the line. He's like, "Okay, that was good, but it needs more spice. Perhaps paprika?" And the audience goes nuts. I'm the audience.
So then Paprika and Shima make their way towards like the epicenter of all this, where like where Osanai had like plunged into that inky depths. Like it had like been pulling the rest of the of like the entire world around with it. And like and they stumble up, and then Tokita shows up, and it's looking like some pretty dire shits. Mm-hmm. Or wait, sorry, we completely skipped a scene because Konakawa is like back in his office as all this is happening, and he's like stretching after a long day of work as a cop, and he like turns to face the window, and he like makes a gun with his finger, and is like, "It's all over now." And then like he looks out the window, and the parade is happening. He's like, "Ah, shit."
Trying to figure out if my cat is shitting on my rug or if he's just sitting weird.
Simba, no.
No, I think he's fine. He just moved and there's no shit where he was sitting, so he's just sitting weird.
Okay, thank you, Simba. So Tokita is charging down Shima and Paprika, and it's looking pretty dire because he's already eaten Atsuko. But then the bartenders jump out and blind him with a giant banner, and cause him to crash into a wall and get stuck.
Yes.
And then the ghost of Atsuko shows up, like some spectral form of Atsuko, so very similar to the one that had showed up and died in front of, the one of Osanai that had showed up and died in front of Atsuko and Shima.
Yes.
That ghost shows up and like dislodges him from the wall stuck, and they just kind of sit together, and we flash back to the first time that we met Tokita, which is when he got stuck in an elevator, and Atsuko had to like pull him out, and they just kind of sat together for a moment in each other's arms, and they do the same thing here, and it's a really sweet moment.
It is, because she like gently chides him for all of this, and he's like, I know, but he's just excitable. Who can blame him? Come on.
He's inventing dream tech. Of course he's excitable.
Yeah, I mean, like, I literally can't blame him for anything he's doing, because I'm like, oh, yeah, obviously. But I have inherent sympathy towards all scientist characters because they're always inherently the best motivations ever, because it's just like, what if just knowledge? And I'm like, yes, knowledge.
Yep.
But in any case. So the climax of this movie, and I think I feel okay just skipping to the climax of this movie.
Sure.
Unless there's anything in particular leading up to that you want to cover.
No.
Cool. There's this huge form of the chairman. He's sucking the world to the center, and then Paprika's like, I'm gonna do something about this, and then she's like, and then she's a ghost baby emerging out of the shell of like robot Tokita.
And then the chairman like puts his hand on her, and she like starts sucking it in.
Yeah.
And
she's inhaling the dream, so to speak, the dream gunk.
Yeah.
She's growing every time she does, and then the chairman's like, "Who's eating my dream?" And she's like, "It's me, bitch."
And then she eats him and turns into a giant woman, and everything's fine.
Gotta love a giant woman.
Like that's pretty much how that's left, right? I mean, we do get the coda to this movie with Konakawa going to radioclub.jp again. But like that's pretty much how that ends, right? With Atsuko becoming giant woman.
And then just kind of evaporating into the ether. But then what we realize is that so we kind of said that they said that dreams were integrating with reality. But what I kind of inferred that as is just like everyone was experiencing the same dream at the same time. But the wreckage literally happens. Yep. All of these dream figures vanish, but we are left with this huge fucking crater in the middle of the city, and like smoke coming up from everything, and just like really like very real consequence wreckage for all of this
so
nonsense.
many people died as a result of this.
Totally, yeah.
But the movie ends with Konakawa trying to log into RadioClub.jp again, and he sees the bartenders there who are both kind of banged up for their cool heroics. And at the table where he and Paprika normally would sit and drink together, and the other times they've been to this location, he just finds a little note card that says Atsuko's name will be changing to Tokita, and that he should go see the movie Dreaming Kids.
Yes.
And then the movie ends with him going to the theater and saying two for Dreaming Kids, and then we get the girl from Byakuya, which is white, which is if I'm not mistaken, Byakuya is white tiger in Japanese.
I wouldn't know, but that's possible. You know, I tried studying Japanese on Duolingo, but then lost my streak and I haven't touched it yet. So
So specifically, Byakuya is white tiger field, which so that makes it so it's perfect for me.
Cool. Yeah. Right on. Absolutely.
This is my movie. It was made for me.
It was. Shall we get into ratings?
We shall, because you know that I'm giving this Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 5... On a scale of 0 to 5 DC minis, how many DC minis are you going to give this one?
I think I know you're going to give it a 5. I'm also going to give it a 5.
Yep.
This is just a really tremendous movie to me. I think I had way more problems with it when I first watched it, because I was like... for some reason, I was like, this is a good but deeply imperfect movie. There's a lot really good in this movie, way more good in this movie than bad. I think I was just way too critical about, and didn't really understand. And there's room to be critical about how it handles its discussion of bodies, because it's not always very graceful. But I think the willingness to have that a discussion and to introduce the idea of nuance into it is doing a lot more legwork than a lot of other films that try to do similar things. So this is still getting a 5 for me. I really, really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said at the top, this is like my favorite movie of all time. If I didn't give this a 5, what the fuck am I giving 5s to?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a wonderful thing. It's so, like, all of Satoshi Kon's is so autobiographical, but this one more so than anything else he's put together combined. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a real genuine, like, something I hadn't really touched on, but something I realized writing this is that the situation with Konakawa and his old buddy, where he like stopped making the movies and then died, it's not exactly that, but a thing that some people might not know about Satoshi Kon is that he had another movie in the works when he passed, called Dreaming Machine, and he left it to his best friend and Madhouse Studio co-founder, Maruyama. I can't remember the guy's full name off the top of my head, but his name is Maruyama. And Maruyama has been trying vigilantly for the last over 9 years since Kon's death to bring that movie across the finish line. Mm-hmm. And there was a really good interview with Maruyama at the end of the screening of Millennium Actress that I went to, and it was just so wonderful and beautiful. There's a line in it where he says that there are, in many ways, we are still trying to catch up with Satoshi Kon even 9 years after his passing, and it's...
Yeah. I mean, he's it was a truly tremendous filmmaker, and I'm really glad that we got the movies that we did out of him, because I think they're so iconic and some of the best of the genre, for sure. If not the best of the genre. So, good movies.
So, yeah.
Good movie.
We got questions.
Oh, do we? Let's get into them.
So, this question by @Girl4Colors, friend of the show, Caradwin, is asking if Paprika is, quote, more of a thriller, quote, what else constitutes a, quote, thriller in your estimation? This is a reference to the time that I brought this movie over to Caradwin's house to show her this movie, described it as, yeah, it's a thriller, and then at the end of the scene where Atsuko almost launches herself off the building, Caradwin turned to me and was like, so a thriller, huh?
Was she way more freaked out about it than just a straight up thriller?
Oh yeah, like I said, I was not the only one scared off my ass during that scene.
I would say this exists more in the arena of thriller than straight out and out terrifying horror.
I think it rides the line.
It does definitely ride the line.
I genuinely think like the one defining thing is that there were not more like horror. There were not more scary scenes. I guess.
Right.
Like there were not. Not that there's like a quota, but like I feel like if there was a quota, this does not surpass the quota required to hit horror movie.
So comparing this to A Perfect Blue, which I think is an out-and-out horror movie, there's a lot more of a sense of encroaching dread in that movie than I would say is present here. This movie relies more on tension, which I think is very distinct from dread. But definitely an adrenaline-based motivator in the same way that which I think is the main difference between a thriller and a horror movie in general. Is it's just like the shape anxiety takes is just different, you know? Also, I think thrillers tend to be way more faster paced in the way that this movie was. It doesn't linger. And it doesn't feel like it needs to, and I don't think it suffers for not lingering. But it definitely moves very quick, and there's a lot of action happening in it. I think you get sort of a manicness to this movie that I think places it more in the arena of a thriller for me.
Okay, yeah. Also, Twitter user Pidmon wants to know, if you had a friend come into your dreams or vice versa, how would you keep each other safe?
So we both have pretty bad ADHD. So the problem with me having dreams is that I often forget elements of my dream. So if I had a friend coming into my dream, I'd be like, oh, word, hey, what's up? And then probably 10 minutes later would totally forget them out of existence, that they were there. So that would be
But given that, you just are you just pulling out the 45?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think there'd be a lot of running involved.
I would in this dream world, I would be my persona, which is all the protection I would need.
So a lot of my dreams are last night I had a dream that someone was connected to my bank account because for rent reasons, and then they gave like their young cousins access to like their cards, and they like brought me into the red in my bank account, and I was like, no, please return this so I can have money again. I need money. I have to make rent eventually. So those are my kind of dreams. So I think the way I would protect my friend is that we would like pool our resources so we would have enough money to make rent at the end of the month.
Ain't that always great when you wake up from a dream like that where something really bad happens? You're like, oh, okay.
Right.
You have like 5 to 10 minutes where you're like, oh god, like I have dreams sometimes where I'm getting arrested, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to afford my legal fees? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, or like I've broken something that's really important.
Sure, that's so interesting. That's such a view into your psyche. I have stress dreams mostly about school and money. Even though I haven't been in school for almost a year now.
I mean, the school dreams don't go away.
They don't. I remember, so I was organizing going to the state fair when Roswell was here with my parents, and scheduling was like an insanity. And I just remember having like a dream where I just like had to like have a screaming fit at them because they like arrived before we did, and I was like, how are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know that you got here? But it was fine. Also, I had a dream that I hung out with Aaron Hansen and his wife, and I don't really know why because I don't watch Game Grumps. So that's just a little open door into my psyche. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did.
Anyway, let's get into recommendations.
Yes, I completely forgot about recommendations.
Yes, we have to do that.
Yep. So my recommendation this week is going to be back on my bullshit. I've been watching anime again. I started this series, so this title is going to sound like it's going to make the show sound like dog shit. I need you to prepare for that because the title of this television series is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Okay.
And it sounds, if you look at the stills, if you look at the intro, the opening, if you look at like the setup for it, it seems like a harem but it's a really fascinating coming-of-age story that I have fallen in love with really quickly. It lampshades the harem parts a little bit, being like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? Which I could do without, but it's whatever, in service of the rest of the show, which is phenomenal. And the best way I can summarize it, and I did it this way on HKIP, so if you listen to both, you're going to get a double dose of this joke. But the best way to summarize it is, bro, you just posted cringe, you are going to gain subscriber.
Okay. Is that your pitch?
Yeah. It basically, like, it's so far, at least, maybe this message changes later on in the show, but so far it has been about going against the grain of, like, the atmosphere, fighting against, like, what is perceived, what is believed by the masses, like, posting the cringe and gaining subscriber.
Okay.
You post the cringe, you go against the grain, and you gain subscriber.
Yes. One must subjugate themselves to the mortifying ordeal of posting cringe if they want to gain subscriber.
Yep.
Or whatever it goes. My recommendation, I have a couple this week because I used to do this all the time and couldn't struggle to come up with one, so I feel like I deserve to give 2 recommendations because now I have backlog. First of all, Lana Del Rey's new album is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it fucks.
I deeply hated her last one in a way that I tried to revisit it because I was like, maybe I was being too hard on it. And no, it's just some real neoliberal bullshit that sucks so much to listen to. But Norman fucking Rockwell is a return to form in a really, really mature way. It feels like the Born to Die Paradise era of her career, but with a lot less baby voice and a lot more sophistication of her as a creator. And like sonically and like lyrically, it's just truly tremendous. Second of all, my other recommendation is that I've been getting really into crosswords. I highly recommend them. You should, if you're willing to shell out about $7 a month for the New York Times crossword app.
$7.55 after tax, motherfuckers.
Yes. It is...
I just got billed for it today.
It is the highlight of my evening. I'm going to dig into the Friday one literally after we hit stop on this recording. It is, I feel like it's making me a smarter person, and I like lateral thinking. You think you're too stupid to do crosswords, but you're not, because I can do them.
Yep. Just start with Monday and work your way up.
Right. And there's always a little article that attaches to them that I think is really helpful, and like, here's some tricky ones. It's okay if you didn't know that. And you're going to start integrating really, really useless trivia into your life. Because now I know who Alan Alda is in a way that I really didn't ever need to before.
I have so many ways to describe the word aced now.
Yeah, I know.
I have never been as intimate with the word Oreo as I was now.
I know.
Anyways, we both love crossword.
They're very good. You think you're not going to enjoy them, you're going to enjoy them, and I really, really encourage everyone to give it a shot. I used to do it with my roommate all the time, but her subscription ran out, and I kind of missed that sort of bonding experience that we had. So if you start doing the crossword, message me about it, because I want to hear about your thoughts. I'm like, this one's hard, help me. I would love to. Anyway, yes, plugs? Shall we plug?
Yeah, we are, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a fun one to edit. If you want to support us, we are fearbaiting everywhere. That is Gmail, Twitter, we don't have a Facebook.
No.
So, yeah, patreon.com/fearbaiting. If you would like to support the podcast, $1 a month is just kind of a tip jar at this point, really. We don't really have anything on the books for bonus content, but if we do ever do it, it will be showing up there.
Yes.
Doing 3 podcasts is a lot. Maybe when the Wonder Years ends, I'll have more time on my schedule to do something for the Patreon.
I think we would love to do some... I personally would love to do... I have some ideas for bonus content for the Wonder Years. It's just... I feel like it's stuff that we all need to be in the same location to do. So if you like the Wonder Years, I would say keep an eye out for that.
I think there's also some stuff. I think there's also some avenues to the Wonder Years content that will open up after we have finished the books.
Fully, absolutely.
Yep. But $5 a month lets you give us a message to read and shout out, and $10 a month you get to make us watch a horror movie. So thank you very much to Michael Kaiser, Paul Moran, Kit Spindler, Paul Bechtel, and Ducky Aisha. We love you all so much.
You make my bills slightly easier to pay every month.
Yes. Thank you very much to Noisepace.xyz and the great god among us who pulls the strings on that entire operation, Mr. Matt GameCube himself. We are also very thankful to friend of the show and next week's guest, Sara, for doing our intro and outro music. You can find them making music under the handle People You Meet Outside of Bars. You can check them out at gaygothvibes.online.
Yes. Thank you to Sara for editing this episode.
Yes, thank you to me. Thank you to Blair for editing all the other episodes. Next week's episode, like I said, is going to be Sara joining us to talk about Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Yes. Very excited. I've seen the lineup for the rest of the month. It's so good, you guys.
We got some bangers. We have some bangers in here. But, so keep an eye on our Twitter feed. We will be posting cringe and telling you where to watch it at. Keep an eye around Friday. We'll keep you updated there. Oh my god, sorry. If you want to hear me if you want to find me elsewhere, you can check me out my other podcast that I do, The Wonder Years, which I do with the aforementioned Sara and the currently present Blair.
Hello.
It's about Animorphs, and we love it a lot. And you can also listen to Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, the leftism podcast for, by, and of the Terminally Online. I was also a guest on another noise space podcast, Jurgen It, the podcast about the secret life of the American teenager recently. And that was a really fun time.
Nice.
Yeah. Blair, where can people find you?
I have way less to plug because you can just find me on Twitter, at Blair Kitsch.
Yep.
I post about shipping. End of sentence. Find me
All
there.
right. Well, tune in next week when we dive into the fucking pit of Schlocktober. But until then, I'm Sara.
I am Blair.
And remember,
you can put a fucked up guy anywhere. Do 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 do.